My parents read fairy tales to me when I was younger. I enjoy these fantasy stories in which it was never quite clear if the situation was real or made up. Now you might wonder, what do fairy tales have to do with the space in between? What does she even mean by the space in between? Let me explain. Many stories are set up in the same way. There's a protagonist and an antagonist. The protagonist has a specific goal and tries to achieve it throughout the story. The antagonist usually has the opposite in mind and makes it hard for the protagonist to achieve this goal. Fairy tales are the exaggerated version of this. Usually there's a good person and a bad person. You might even say that there's a hero and a villain. One person does everything to harm others, while the other has an angelic personality, is at the right place at the right time, and saves others. One of my favorite fairy tales was Red Riding Hood, and as said, there's a bad and a good side. Red Riding Hood, a little girl, wants to help her old grandma by bringing her some food. She's clearly the good person. On the way to her grandma, she meets the wolf in the forest who messes up her plan. The wolf thinks to himself, "Oh, that food looks tasty, and this girl has told me where her grandmother lives. I can eat both." Evil. As said, I like fairy tales. I absolutely don't have a problem with them. All I'm saying is that the impression one gets does not always correspond to reality. Fairy tales are often split into black and white, bad and good. What I mean by the space in between is the gray part, the part that cannot really be classified but is always there. A person, for example, has both good and bad qualities. Someone is not simply good or bad. Just as with people, the same can also be the case with situations. These can also have black and white parts. Of course, people and situations can change. Things can turn positive or negative. You can discover different facades. Everything can vary in the. An example of a situation that felt very bad were the new classes that were arranged at the start of this year. Of course, I knew that not all my friends would be in my new class. When I saw the list, I was extremely sad. Absolutely none of the friends that I had made in 5th and 6th grade were in my new class. Therefore, I approached the school year with low expectations. I could picture it. Lonely breaks, sitting at an empty table at lunch and brunch, longing for the day to end. Well, it has turned out differently. On the first day of school, I walked into class and chose a desk that was not yet taken. There was only one person in my new class that I could actually imagine becoming friends with. We'd never been good friends, but I'd gone to her birthday parties, and we'd talked every now and then. When she walked shortly after me, I used the opportunity and asked her if she wanted to sit next to me. She did. In the next few weeks, we sat next to each other, but spent the breaks with our friends from the old class. I could still hang out with them. Now, I'm not saying that the situation turned out good, but it became something that I would put in the space in between. The classes were still not the way I wanted them to be, but I made a new friend and managed to still stay in touch. Back to the forest. In reality, the wolf would probably be running away from us humans. The sides could be reversed. The wolf would not be interested in eating us. No, its sharp teeth don't make it bad. Red Riding Hood would still be the good person. Delivering food to her grandma is a good act, but who knows if she was forced to do this by her mother? Who knows how she acts in the situations not mentioned in the fairy tale? Maybe totally different. Good can become bad, bad can become good. A space in between might develop. In your life, you might also try to be good. You might attempt to be nice to everyone and make the right decisions to not make anyone feel bad. You can try, but it does not work for everyone. No matter what you do, there will always be someone who does not appreciate it. You will always have an antagonist. This does not mean that you should not be nice. No, all it means is that you should choose what feels good. Of course, there can be something good or bad. Sometimes you might see something in black and white, and that's okay. The key is keeping in mind that there can be a space in between. Gray exists. You have to be true to yourself, decide how you want to perceive things, and choose and think only what feels right to you. Thank you.